Hello, Facebook. Hello, Facebook. Going live here, counting down on my screen, and just waiting for the official word, and it looks like I am live. Hello, Facebook. Hello, YouTube on the replay, Facebook Live. There's my notification. There's my sound check. All right. Going to talk about mushrooms today. Something that chefs do and restaurants do, they say about mushrooms that just isn't true. And it drives me crazy, and it happens so much. But before I jump into that, it is Monday, Cyber Monday. My internet connection's going in and out for some reason. Okay, well, my internet connection's going in and out. I am here. It shows that it's back. So hopefully it's not being affected. I'm going to watch along here on the phone so I can see that I'm live. All right. And by the way, if I lose connectivity, just replay for pause it, stop it 15 seconds back, and then you can watch it on through. So it looks like I am. My video keeps showing uninterrupted as well. So I am here, folks. I am here. All of a sudden, when the phone does that ringing thing, it means that the connection's lost, and we've had a connection loss all day, and all of a sudden I go live, and that's just what happens. You're good. I'm good. Okay, because on my end that I'm watching.
10 seconds behind.
10 seconds behind. So go. Want to post that comment, Jamie? So, yeah, just go 10 seconds behind. All right. So, got up some people tuning in. Thank you for tuning in. Drop a comment, hashtag live. If you're tuning in live, hashtag replay on the replay. And my thing still keeps cutting out like crazy. All right. There we go, Jamie. Thank you for posting that. Just rewind 10 seconds. So, today's Cyber Monday. I'm not going to tell you about our Cyber Monday deal because I don't want to sell them. I think it's a really good deal. I don't want to sell them. You'll have to go find it yourself on our website. We did send that in an email. We've sold a ton of gift cards for Cyber Monday already, like a ton. The notifications keep coming in and coming in and coming in and coming in. So at some point we're going to turn that off because we're going to hit our quota there. Can't give everything away. So Cyber Monday deal is happening right now. We have our beer dinner tonight. It is 4 beers and a dish for $29. We have some really good beers, rare beers. It's on our Instagram page. The beers that we are serving tonight. But I want to talk about mushrooms. Why do restaurants do this about mushrooms? So this happens over and over and over again. Chefs love to say, "Oh, we have a wild sautéed mushrooms. We have pasta with wild mushrooms. We have this wild mushroom, salmon with a wild mushroom sauce." And when the sauce comes out, when the mushrooms come out, it turns out to be portobello mushrooms, shiitake mushrooms, sometimes cremini, sometimes oyster mushrooms. So those 4 mushrooms are typically what chefs like to call wild mushrooms. Every now and then, dried porcinis will make it in there, or another mushroom, or trumpets will make it in there. But typically, a lot of chefs rely upon shiitakes, oysters, and portobellos and call them wild mushrooms. I've seen this for so many years. And as a young chef apprentice, I was so confused because I'm like, these really aren't wild mushrooms. So sure, those mushrooms grow wild. Here in the Northeast, the most predominant of those 3 mushrooms is going to be oyster mushrooms. I forage mushrooms, and if I got maybe 2 trays, 3 trays, maybe 10, 15 pounds of oyster mushrooms this year, that was it. And it was a good year for oyster mushrooms. I'm out every day in the woods running on the rail trail and out in the woods running, and so I see a lot of these. And I got several trees this year, but it wasn't much. Shiitake mushrooms. Shiitake mushrooms are native to Japan, traditionally, oak trees. I think a little bit of China. I'm not 100% sure. And there's a very rare occasion where a shiitake is reported wild here in the Northeast. Extremely, extremely rare. People do post it here and there that, I'm in New Hampshire. I'm in somewhere in New England, and I found a shiitake mushroom, a wild shiitake mushroom. If you're going to find any of those mushrooms, oysters are going to be the easiest here in the Northeast. Portobellos, however, will come into the season, but there's not much. I've never heard of a forager saying, "Oh, check out this big batch of portobellos I got." It's typically morels, chanterelles, trumpets, mayatakes, porcinis. Those are like the typical like wild type of mushrooms that you'll see foragers get. But when you go to a restaurant, the chef considers shiitake mushrooms, which are always cultivated, oysters, which are almost always cultivated, and portobellos, which are always cultivated. Those three mushrooms are always cultivated in restaurants, and chefs call them wild all the time. And as a young chef, like I said, in the 90s, I would see restaurants that did this, and I'm like, this just doesn't make sense. Like I know it's marketing, and we're taught this in culinary school. And culinary school is a marketing class when I was back there years ago in the early 90s, about how to take how to describe menu descriptions, menu marketing, where you want to kind of hype things up. So it was drilled into us at a very young age that you want to like be very descriptive on your menu and hype things up and make them appealing so you can charge more for them. And I think chefs just think that, these aren't white mushrooms, so they're not the regular white mushrooms, so we can get away with calling them wild mushrooms. So folks, those are not wild mushrooms. They do grow wild, but restaurants are not relying upon them to be wild. And maybe it's just because of the varietal. But then you could just say, salmon is wild if it's farmed, because it's the same stuff that you're finding out in the ocean that's really wild. So just a little bit of education here on the terms of mushrooms. Right now, diver scallops are in season. Diver scallops are a really awesome treat where the divers go down and hand pick them. They're super, super expensive. Most chefs are serving what they're calling diver scallops on their menu, and they're just large sea scallops. They're not diver scallops. And wild salmon, folks, is kind of out of season. It's kind of gone. Season's been over for a good 6 weeks, 8 weeks. If a restaurant has wild salmon now, it's going to be previously frozen. I walked in the shop right the other day, and I could see clear as day this nice, dark, rich colored salmon, and then this pinkish salmon, orangish. And I said, that's wild salmon. And I walked up to it, looked at it, and it said on the package, previously frozen. Wild sockeye or wild cove, previously frozen salmon. I went to a market down in Westchester 2 weeks ago, and it was this orange farm salmon that they had sitting there labeled for $32 a pound, right next to the farm salmon, and they were swearing to me that it was wild salmon. $32 a pound. $32 a pound. And I said, is it fresh? Oh yeah, it's fresh. The guy got mad at me that I even asked him questions. He got really upset with me, and he didn't want to have the conversation with me. So right now, if you're going out to eat and the restaurant says wild salmon, it's typically going to be frozen, or they're lying about it. You can tell by the color right away on that.
And frozen is okay, though.
Frozen's fine. Frozen, folks, is totally fine because they freeze it at the point of catching. Most times they'll freeze it on shore, freeze it on the ship, cryogenically freeze it, and blast freeze it. And by the time it gets to you, it's super fresh. So that's it, folks. Just thought I'd drop some knowledge about some mushrooms today. That's it. I haven't been on for a few days. It was a busy weekend. And Jamie should be on about 4 o'clock doing her Facebook Live. Happy hour with Jamie. All right, everybody. Talk to you later.